It is not a binding decision, therefore we will, it's still, as we are concerned under the Criminal Code of Canada, it is still illegal to possess marijuana.
Hi there, Marc Emery here. Well, the Summer of Legalization tour begins at the Fall Legalization tour with an emergency stop in Vancouver tomorrow, Thursday at 4 o'clock. I begin speaking at the Vancouver Police Headquarters at Cambie Street and 6th Avenue, just by the bridge there. And I'm there in an unusual way. I smoked out Prince George already and I didn't get charged, but we've got legal pot now. Possession of marijuana is now considered legal after, well, I'll get to that. After Judge Patrick Chen wrote a brilliant and well-researched article showing that there is no marijuana possession law in effect in Canada. He was asked in court in July in New Westminster on the behalf of Curtis Lee Mass, whom I met yesterday, was charged with possession, and they went before the judge and said, "Judge, it's our belief that there is no marijuana possession law, and we're asking you to research the cases and come back." And sure enough, the issue before me simply is this: is possession of cannabis marijuana an offense known to law in British Columbia, said Judge Patrick Chen, and then he concluded, it therefore follows that there is no offense known to law at this time for the simple possession of marijuana. Well, the Solicitor General of BC has in fact responded, and so have the Vancouver Police Department. And basically, they're telling everybody marijuana is still illegal. In fact, the Vancouver Police Department Constable Sarah Bloor, their spokesperson, said police, get this, rarely enforce the marijuana possession laws, but have the right to do so. She's wrong. She said that it will be the situation unless Parliament changes the laws the federal government has indicated could this fall. No, if the Supreme Court changes it, she'll have to obey it. And if the Ontario Court of Appeal changes it, she'll have to obey it. Bloor said police use discretion enforcing the law, but would not say exactly under which circumstances an officer would recommend charges to the federal Crown, which is responsible for charges in drug cases. It depends upon the situation, and each officer is going to have to make a decision based upon the situation as it presents itself. So on one hand, you've got clear, decisive judicial decision-making. Judge Chen has spent weeks analyzing all the 20 cases. He's been given the preposition. He's a provincial court judge. He's a university-educated man. But somehow our Solicitor General doesn't have any respect for this man, doesn't give him any credibility, but in fact finds this a much more scientific and rational legal basis. It depends on the situation, and each officer is going to have to make a decision based upon the situation as it presents itself. Well, isn't that a great way to make laws and to enforce laws? Just let every officer decide what he thinks is the law, or how he's going to interpret the law, whether this situation warrants his interpretation of the law. It's appalling. Here you have a university-educated judge in the BC provincial judicial system who's been appointed by the Attorney General, and our own Solicitor General doesn't think that his opinion is worth anything. Solicitor General Rich Coleman agreed that neither the BC Provincial Court decision nor the Ontario Appeals Court decision binds higher courts in BC or federal courts. Coleman said people who believe the courts have decriminalized marijuana possession should think again. They are mistaken. It's still an illegal substance in Canada, says Coleman. But Coleman is wrong. The Ontario Court of Appeal is the highest body save the Supreme Court, and the federal government did not appeal it to the Supreme Court. So that makes the Ontario Court of Appeal the highest judicial body in the land in regards to this law. And the fact is, marijuana possession was suspended as a controlled drug and substance in the Controlled Drug and Substances Act. So it is completely legal, and Rich Coleman is out and out lying and evading his cabinet responsibility to fully inform the people what's going on. Furthermore, this is the premier decision in British Columbia as to regards this law, and he is literally ignoring the only judge's decision that's this authoritative in order to encourage officers to use discretion and their own personal interpretation of the law, despite the fact that we have a competent judge with an outstanding and detailed and researched verdict. It doesn't make any sense unless you think the police are addicted to their control of power, unless you think the police like strip searching young people and looking at those sexy young bodies, you know, to give the police some amusement. You have to think of some reason. In other words, why wouldn't the Solicitor General say, as far as it goes now, this Patrick Chen decision will be binding on police officers in British Columbia, and we have a moratorium against possession charges until a higher court rules to give clarity. That's what the Solicitor General should say. But because he's a drug warrior, because he's in the pocket of the Americans, and there's no better evidence of that than the fact that the Consul General of the United States actually had a press conference to denounce this new decision about legal pot. The American Consul General was actually at the Vancouver Police Department dominating their media response. So in other words, the Vancouver Police feel more loyalty to a foreign power, the Consul General of the United States, rather than someone who's actually in the judiciary in British Columbia. A university-trained, certified, government-appointed judge does not have nearly the credibility, it would seem, to the BC government that the U.S. Consul General has, that the officer on the street who's using his discretion seems to have. They're denying the whole body of legal work that's been going on for 3 years, just like other places did. So anyway, I'm having a smoke out tomorrow. I want everybody who can come tomorrow, Thursday, Vancouver, Cambie Street and 5th, 6th Avenue's front doorstep of the Police Department headquarters, right where Chief Constable Jamie Graham is. I'm going to be smoking a big, huge chonger there. I want you to come and watch and listen to me. I've got some important things to say at 4 o'clock, and at 4:20, I'll be lighting up and making this the 18th stop in the summer and fall of legalization. Then next week, on Thursday, in Ottawa, I'll be smoking out Parliament Hill, right in front of the front door of Parliament, to remind our parliamentarians that marijuana is legal right now, and let's keep it that way. So I want to see everybody tomorrow. Cambie Street, 5th and 6th Avenue, the police headquarters there in Vancouver, 4 o'clock Thursday. Let's make our point. Let's try keep marijuana legal in British Columbia, and we've got to do that.